Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Hyliion stock and the recent news that Meritor, one of the suppliers to Hyliion, are going to be acquired by Cummins, which is one of the biggest engine and powertrain manufacturers in the business. Will this be really good news for Hyliion, or will this be really bad news for Hyliion? Well, we're going to take a look at that today and see if we can come up with an answer to that question. Then we're also going to look ahead to Hyliion stock's earnings that are out in the coming days and what our expectations are and should be for that, and then going forward after that. If that sounds like something you're interested in today, do please smash that like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and let's get in there and take a look. Hey guys, welcome into the video. So here we are on the Hyliion landing page, $3.67 a share now, down 4% again today, probably due to the upcoming earnings release, people trying to get out before anything potentially bad gets announced by the earnings. I don't think that that's going to happen anyway, and you can see that it's creeping back up a touch there. Anyway, what we're actually here to talk about today is the big news that engine manufacturer Cummins is to acquire Meritor in a $2.6 billion deal in an electric parts push. So that already implies that that could be good news for Hyliion. Cummins, who's well known for making engines over the years, is trying to future-proof itself by acquiring Meritor, so it has an electric parts organisation within it, and it can just purchase that and acquire it rather than develop it completely from the ground up. 2.58 billion was in cash to develop its electric and hybrid vehicle parts offerings amid a boom in demand for climate-friendly transport. That right there has to be a plus point for Hyliion. Some people were viewing Cummins as a competitor. Well, now they're going to be an owner, so they would benefit if Hyliion did well. So we know that this company does engines for now, but it is 100% future-proofing itself because of the plans going forward to diverge away from gasoline and diesel-powered vehicles into the likes of hydrogen and gas-powered vehicles, which is obviously something that Hyliion does. So customers include Navistar, Daimler, and it's hoped that Meritor's investment in electrification and will integrate its own segment to make electrified power systems. Meritor's shares smashed upwards 43% on this news, and even Cummins shares was up by 1.3%, which is unusual for a company acquiring another company to have such a positive or even steady outcome. So that, in my opinion, is absolutely excellent news, and they're going to be able to save themselves some money. But this, in my opinion, is excellent news for Hyliion because Meritor is a selected provider of Hyliion e-axles, and as you can see there, this is what happened to Meritor stock on the news. It literally jumped up from $25 odd to $35 upon the acquisition news. So when we have a look at Meritor, we can see that it was selected by Hyliion on August the 4th, 2021 to supply its hybrid Hypertruck ERX trucks with the Blue Horizon 14 XE powertrain. So this is a key part of Hyliion's product and fundamental to marketing this going forward. So that is absolutely excellent news. So you've got Meritor on one stage supplying that, and then you've got Cummins owning the overall product. So they all benefit if Hyliion does well. So again, if we take a quick look across, you can see that the 14 XE axle is right here, one of the e-powertrains that Meritor offers. And then hopping on over into the actual investing presentation on Meritor's page, we can see a little bit more information about these products there. This is exactly what Hyliion is going to use to build its Hypertruck ERX, which is going to be billed as helping out the trucking market. Now, Cummins seems to have come on board. You could argue the other side of things, that Cummins is just buying this Meritor company out and therefore Hyliion out, and then just going to shelve the products. But with the sentiment towards electronic vehicles and hybrid vehicles now, I really don't think that that's the case. I think that the new market for EV vehicles and really decarbonising the trucking industry is going to take off, and that is why the smart management at Cummins are starting to take note of that and are now starting to act. This isn't Cummins' investor page here, this is on Meritor's page, but you can see that it stacks up very well in terms of e-powertrains getting added through 2020 to 2025 and then 2030 onwards. Decarbonising the heavy trucking industry is going to be really difficult to do, and that is why it's time to start moving on that now. This is the e-axle that is being promised, and as you can see here, it has multiple multiple customers for these e-axles already, including Volta Zero here in the UK. And there we go. We have Hyliion as a customer for Meritor, and then now Cummins owning all of that, as well as plenty of other companies, including some quite well-known ones there, VW, Volta, etc. So that to me is excellent news. This process has been very well streamlined now, so even Cummins investment money, their knowledge, their help in sort of bringing extra capital to the market, and a bit of an acknowledgement really that the future really is in alternative renewable electric vehicles, or hybrid electric vehicles, or hydrogen vehicles. In my opinion, that is obviously where we're going. It's going to take a long time. Diesel is still going to 100% have its place in the trucking industry for quite a while ahead, but movement is now being made to start to move towards hybrid and full battery electric technology, as well as hydrogen. And we all know that Hyliion has already said that it will be able to integrate hydrogen into its Hypertruck ERX at a later date, when the technology and the infrastructure, let's not forget, materialises. Let's also not forget that trucking industry veteran Jay Craig also used to work for Meritor, so he's going to be able to bring that knowledge and assistance to Hyliion, and then he's going to develop his network and hopefully help out and bring even more expertise and sales to Hyliion itself. So there are some pretty big movements going on now, and that is really, really good news to see. So I'm just going to basically go on Cummins' website here. They're obviously predominantly a engine manufacturer, and you can see here these are all diesel engines that have been around for a very, very long time. But if an engine manufacturer is starting to future-proof itself and start to look to acquire electric parts companies, hybrid companies, etc., and develop hydrogen engines themselves, then you absolutely know that something big is afoot. They built 1.3 million diesel engines in 2020, and over $1 billion was spent on research and technology. That is absolutely excellent for Hyliion if that filters its way through to Meritor and then onwards to Hyliion potentially. They have 11,000 of the brightest engineers innovating their customers, and they have 55 technical centres. There is all sorts of extra really good things that come from this. I really don't see a negative from this from a Hyliion investor point of view, apart from the fact that there was the risk that they could shelve the technology, but that really doesn't look likely. All three of these companies will massively benefit from this deal, as long as the trajectory towards hybrid technology, battery electric trucking, etc. continues, which it looks like it is. Moving on then to what's going to happen in terms of Hyliion's earnings. That has been announced that it's going to happen on Thursday, the 24th of February, and it will be pre-market, at least US time. In fact, no, it won't be. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. CST, and you'll have to quickly work out what time that's going to be here in the UK. But that's something to watch very closely. We're not expecting a great deal of revenue from the company. In fact, I think most analysts are here at about expecting between about 850,000, 590, up to about 1.3 million, and then there's a wild one there for the next year at the end of 2022 of 18.6 million. We'll have to really see about that, which is the average estimate. But we are expecting to see revenue. I'll be surprised if that doesn't take place. I am expecting to see hopefully at least $1 million on the revenue bill. We're not really sure exactly how many hybrid trucks have been sold and what the costs are. So I'm hoping to see that, and then an update on hybrid EX rollout, and obviously, of course, retrofitting in the factory, and then a Hypertruck update as well. Excellent news from this, or rapid progress, could send the share price obviously flying upwards. If it's kind of a so-so sort of earnings call where it goes as expected, then I would expect the share price to sort of stagnate and sort of stay put. If there's even more pushback in terms of the Hypertruck ERX being pushed even further back, or an update on that, or they can't meet targets to retrofit Hybrid EX, then the share price could decline further. Unfortunately, I really don't think it's got that much more to go, but every time I seem to say that, it seems to be able to find a decline in the share price. If we have a quick look, we're now at $600 million as the market cap. The company is pretty much sat on that in cash, ready to go. When the hype was based around this company and it was upwards of billions and billions of dollars, the company was nowhere near in the shape that it is now. There was nowhere near the plans afoot. There was nowhere near the products, the amount of expertise that they've now got on board. The company's actually in far better shape than it was when the original hype was around this company. However, that is the key word right there. Hype, hype, hype is exactly what drove this share price way back when to the moon. That should never have really happened. The share price should have stayed at around between $10 and $20 and stayed at that sort of point and never gone any higher. Dropping down to this sort of point is absolutely fine, and if you'd done that from a $10 buying point, you probably wouldn't be too bothered about the share price being $3.65. Anybody that bought in up here is obviously at the moment seriously bag holding and rightly frustrated because of what's happened. The market reacting the way it has to electronic vehicles, the supply chain issues is all had its, and the situation in Ukraine has all had its hand in damaging this company's share price for now. But I believe with good earnings, with what's going on with Meritor and Cummins, I think that this is signalling a shift towards hybrid trucking, towards electric and hydrogen trucking, and I think that that can only be a good thing for Hyliion going forward. Thank you very much for watching today, guys. What do you think is going to happen to Hyliion stock after earnings? Will it remain the same? Will it go up? Do let me know in the comments below. And if you could see your way to smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel on the way out, that would be absolutely awesome. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next investing episode. Catch you later.